Good evening, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson, and of course I'm joined by Frank the Guru Gibbs.
G'day.
Alright, as usual, we've got news, drag racing, tournaments, street racing, rallying, a little update from Frank's garage, some grassroots racing, and of course, Crash of the Week. Now we're just going to kick into the news first up. Obviously last week there was the launch of the Diecast Racing Report by Kit Kayam. It's a fantastic read. If you haven't seen it, jump over to diecastracingreport.com and check it out. The next edition will be coming up very soon. Alright, racing news. We've got Rust Belt Racing Lightweight Series coming up on the 1st of July, along with the Indiana Diecast Racing Westfield 500. Then on the 25th of July, League of Speed have the Popper Speed Invitational. That's got dragsters, funny cars, pro stocks, and gases. Going to be quite an epic event. If you haven't gone over to Redline Derby and put your race into the race calendar, make sure you do it. That's where we find out about these things, and we can let everybody know.
We're going to kick into the drag racing. And Thursday night hot rods with Simon over at Hot Car Track. There was finally somebody who could take down the Purginator, and that's the Street Creeper. He didn't have it all his way this week, but still a very strong contender.
Then we head over to Diecast Draggor and his Dragway. Now he's got some new cameras as well, so head over and check out his racing. It's always expanding, which is great to see.
Then Hotwheels Boys in New Zealand did something a little bit different this week. They raced a couple of treasure hunt cars. So first up is the Batmobile against Buns of Steel.
And it's surprisingly fast.
Yeah, it's a little bit like Hot Wheels Calgary and that Bubble-matic. That thing was crazy.
And there was more tight drag racing over at Beehive Diecast Draggor with Peter Bee Vids. And finally, League of Speed continued on with Charger Summer. Remember, this is going to be heading around to 7 different tracks, so it's quite a beast of a series, and there was some epically tight racing there. I mean, just look at that. Without a proper finish gate, you'd never tell who was winning. Moving into the tournaments, we're going to kick off with another Hot Wheels Calgary World Tour. This time they went to RTR Diecast Racing League's Maze Mountain Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's been a great week so far. I'm looking forward to the last race tomorrow, or I suppose for some of you it'll be today when you're watching this. A great series overall.
Then GNR Vintage Diecast Racing had their Name the Track tournament. So basically you've got to put your name down, pick a name for the track, and if you win the race overall, that's what the track gets named. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, and you can see here there's lots of carnage on this track with all these turns. It's a brilliant bit of racing. Make sure you go and check it out.
Moving over to Indiana Diecast Racing, their tournament continued on and there was some great racing there. This is one of the tracks that we highlighted a little while ago, and it's a fantastic track, lots of twists and turns, and we love that fat track. And Rocky Mountain Diecast Racing League had their finals. So this was another track that we highlighted just recently in the grassroots racing. Great little series, go and check it out. There's some very good racing in there, and as always with fat track, surprises aplenty, tight racing, great overtakes, and quite a few wrecks as well. And speaking of wrecks, Chevy Showdown, holy smokes, Monte Carlo's this week. First race, 4-car wipeout.
Now everyone thought that was going to be Crash of the Week, but we've got something a bit special this week, and it's not from us.
And there was a real shock in the El Caminos with Lightning Jim Leichenring making his first big mistake of the tournament. Favoured to win overall, but just having some real trouble in that race. Hopefully he can pull it together during the semis. Nocky Jack having a strong run so far, we'll see how he does as well.
Moving over to street racing, we're going to kick off with Indonesian Diecast Racing. These guys have been featured a couple of times and they've got some great street races.
That's right, this was the Borneo Blazing tournament.
This Mustang on the outside just goes absolutely wild through here. Comes down and boom, off the top, bounces off the bottom, and then manages to get it together. But check out the Corvette drift in the background. That was very impressive.
And then King of the Mountain. That competition has officially kicked off. We're just going to show you a couple of highlights from Shelby Mays' race here. This brilliant overtake by the Chevelle. Like, that was just one of the cleanest overtakes yet. And then on the next lap, unfortunately, Shelby wrecked coming out of that corner.
She had problems in that same spot during the qualifiers, I think.
Yeah, she did. There was a bit of an issue there. Moving into rallying. So Tune Tracks put on a special rally competition. There were 29 cars running down the same track, and it was a timed event. So this is how it should be done. Beautiful clean run, great jump. I mean, the double hump and the 180 degree turn at the end there is actually quite a tough track. It looks fairly simple when you see a car do it as well as this one did, but it wasn't just Hot Wheels, there was Majorette, and that happened. Majorette again, and another failure. Majorette, crash. Majorette, crash. To be fair, not every one of them crashed, but it was pretty common.
And then we move over to 3D Bot Maker in the DRC. This is just a brilliant championship. We've been looking forward to this one for ages. Ryu Asada there in that Hot Wheels concept car, just getting absolutely massive amounts of air. Like, that's the sort of air you see over at Chaos Canyon. That's ridiculous. He was definitely giving it the beans there.
He definitely got higher than pretty much any other car there, but some beautiful driving by some of the other drivers there. That there was probably one of the cleanest jumps we saw. That car just comes through so nicely, so well balanced, stays on his wheels. Definitely get over and check out that. And of course, our friends over at DRC Racing. If you haven't seen it on Redline Derby as well, he's actually put up a behind the scenes of how he built the track, showing all of the construction and everything. It's a fantastic read. And if you haven't seen his channel, definitely go and check it out. The racing is so tight there. You can see that finish was just photo finish stuff, literally.
All right, moving into Frank's garage. I just wanted to show you a couple of photos. I've been wanting the Bluesmobile for ages, and I finally picked it up.
Oh mate, you got a couple of photos of us when we went out for our drive.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw that in there. And then I've got some photos here from Arvin Salvador. We featured him before, but I just love these rally photos that he did. They're just beautiful. I mean, that V-dub with the jump there is spectacular.
It's very impressive. Alright, moving over to Grassroots Racing. This one is from Jerusalem the Spider. This track is huge. Lots of angles, running around all sorts of corners. Being fat track the whole way, there is all sorts of carnage on the track, which you know we love at the Canyon. I'm really looking forward to seeing this track come along. The channel's just new, there'll be a link in the description. There's only a few videos there at the moment, but have a look, and if it's the sort of thing you enjoy, make sure you follow them. And finally, Stuff and More Hot Wheels had a orange car competition. So this was only vehicles that were orange, and they just drag raced a whole bunch of them. It's really cool, go and check it out. Now, Crash of the Week. As I mentioned, this didn't go to us. This had to go to 3D Bot Maker and the DRC for this one right here.
Now, it doesn't look that impressive compared to some of the crashes we have over at the Canyon, but check this out. Boom, right in the face. This guy got nailed right in the kisser by the front of that Beamer.
He was knocked out, but luckily the paramedics were on hand and he did manage to walk it off. Alright, that's all we've got time for this week. Thanks very much for joining us. As always, if you're new to the sport or if you want information on diecast, make sure you head over to redlinederby.com. It's got everything you need. I'd like to thank all of the tracks this week for allowing us to use their footage. If you want to be part of this, make sure you head over to redlinederby.com, find the DSPN forum, and post your links to your videos, post your photos in there, and we'll do our best to try and get those into the next show. Alright, I'm Tom Spanners Watson, he's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We'll see you next time. So Guru, do you reckon anybody hangs around to watch right to the end?
Nah, I doubt it, mate. Looking at the stats, everyone buggers off halfway through. I don't think anyone ever bothers hanging around this late.